What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Moral Combat. My name is Zach.
Hi, everybody. I am Nathan.
Yeah, this is a podcast where we talk about we've been talking about religious trauma and coming out of the Calvary Chapel Christian Church as our dad is a father. But also
our dad is a father?
Yes, our dad is a father. Our dad is a pastor.
Yeah.
But we are starting to just gear a lot more towards just trauma of childhood and everything, and discussing it and healing through communication.
Yeah, we mainly less structured here at Moral Combat. The structure is the conversation. And our hope and dream is that the conversation is healing every time.
Yes.
Healing through humor, healing through vulnerability, healing through shooting the shit.
Yes.
But yeah, we've talked a lot about religious trauma, and now it just seems like we're hitting, if we're not just shooting the shit or doing something, it's like we just hit hot topics.
Yeah.
It's like come up with a word, like a challenging word, like
Bananas.
sex.
Yes.
Oh, okay, let's talk about sex.
Yes.
Come up with another word.
Gender.
Gender. Summer camps.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of go off of maybe there's some trauma, maybe not, but
Yeah.
just more of like the obstacles that life brings forth every day.
Indeed.
As if we have any control.
We don't.
Do we, though?
I think over certain things, but over our actual lives, I don't know, dude. That's such a big question. Who actually knows?
We have some control. We controlled being on another podcast today.
Yeah, we just got done doing a very long podcast with the Nostalgia Killers.
The Nostalgia Killers. They are also local here in town, kind of close to the house, actually. So it was fun just to drive downtown and go to their little studio.
Yeah.
Where we talked about Jurassic Park.
Yeah. We reminisce on the nostalgia of Jurassic Park.
Our choice.
Indeed.
And I actually got up super. It's not like I haven't seen the movie a million times. But their podcast sent us a script to follow, which had plenty of questions and bullet points. It was like doing a little bit of homework.
Indeed.
You know, I had to like actually watch the film.
Yeah, when they first sent it over, I was like, this is a lot I'm going to have to do before just being on the podcast. But then after doing it, I really enjoyed watching Jurassic Park and trying to find my 3 favorite scenes, trying to find the worst 3 favorite scenes, trying to remember every actor's name. You know, I've never done that with Jurassic Park, an old movie like that. And then trying to dig through some of the actors in the background and figure out what movies they've been in.
It was super fun.
It was really fun.
They have a good setup. It's currently right now just an audio podcast. You can probably find Nostalgia Killers all over everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was our first time breaking out of our studio to go to another studio.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
Just for like a couple hours to be reminded that there is a whole culture of podcasting out there.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to break out of our own mold.
Yeah.
But I feel like we had some control over that. There's some control. We decided to do that. That was our control. We could have said no, but we said yes.
Oh, we got asked to do it. I used to work with one of the hosts of that podcast.
We were first talking about control. Don't you think we had some control over that decision?
Oh, yeah, we could have said no.
We could have said no, but we said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have some control.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And choices matter. Choices very much matter.
Totally. Choices are everything. If not, that's what we do control is our choices. Life comes at you. Actually, no. Life comes through you, and you can choose how you want to deal with life.
There is a lot that's happening in life, though, that feels like it's a movie.
Yeah.
You don't really have any control over the set.
Nope.
Or the actors.
Nope.
It is hot today. We are.
Yep.
Might
start like really dripping.
The reality is we are in the garage. Yeah. And it doesn't look like it to you because we know what we're doing here on Moral Combat. We know set design, we know lighting, but what you don't realize is that it's a tin box.
Yep.
And today and yesterday were the 2 hottest days of the summer so far, which has been really nice.
Yesterday was 105, and I think today's going to get to 100 for a second.
200?
No, to 100.
We're melting.
We're gonna die. So it is definitely hot. And what's funny is if you just go back about 20 episodes, we are freezing in the heat of the winter, in the depths of the winter.
Yep.
And we're very cold. So the elements of our environment are very much shown throughout our seasons of this podcast.
It's true. Which I like that.
Yeah.
I like
fun.
that.
Keeps it real. You know what? Keeps it good.
Changing with the elements.
Yeah.
We're just a part of the environment.
We're just in part of this earth.
Definitely learning what the garage temperature and how it changes.
Yeah.
It's still cooler in here than it is outside.
Yeah. By like a degree or two. Yeah.
Maybe a few degrees.
Yeah, a few degrees.
Did you do anything with your day yesterday for the summer activities?
Why? Because July 1st is the start of summer?
I mean, it was a really hot day. That's why.
Oh, I was working.
What did you do when you weren't working?
I was getting ready to go to work.
Is that what your days are? Is you just get ready and then you go to work? So your entire work day is like...
I have to be at work pretty early. To be at work at 2, and I'm not leaving until midnight, and so it's a pretty tough shift.
2 in the afternoon. But what about like the beginning of the day?
I wake up, I have my tea, and then I do my very long stretching routine that I've been in for my back. Which
It's a summer activity. Stretching is a summer activity.
Takes a very good part of my day, and then by the time it's like, that's the thing that's tough, man. By the time it's like noon, it's like, well, what could I really do before I have to leave? It's like not much. So anything I would have to do, I'd have to get up very early and have a plan to do it. And
you're not Zachary is not an early riser.
Yeah, I am. What are you talking about, dude? I mean, you're like, oh, I get up at 5:30 because you're a nurse.
What I meant was that you're not an early get up and goer. You're like, you have your set routine.
And being vulnerable here, it's because I have a very interesting digestive issue where if I don't have a bowel movement, I won't have a bowel movement. And so I have to be up early enough to be able to sit long enough to have a bowel movement.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
It's very complicated.
Find out all the truth here at Mortal Kombat.
It's not just me. I've talked to people that have very similar stomachs, and my fiance is not like that because Daddy got engaged on Thursday.
Oh, you're just going to drop that like that?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Please. No.
He's an engaged man.
Hey,
He's an engaged man. He's an engaged man.
Thank you.
It's true. Both your boys here, or I guess I won't say boys. Both the humans here on this podcast are engaged.
Indeed, we are.
It's official.
It is very
But
official.
you just recently got engaged, so congratulations.
Thank you.
That is definitely a summer activity.
It was very summery.
Getting engaged is a popular thing to do in the summer, not any other season. People do not get engaged in any other seasons.
You're right. You're 100% right.
I was asking you what summer activities you did, and you dropped work and getting engaged.
And stretching.
And stretching, which is a summer. Never do you stretch in the winter or the spring or the fall.
Yeah. You hibernate, Nate.
Yeah, I know.
You hibernate,
Nate. You did a lot of summer activities, getting engaged and stretching.
Oh,
you're a real summer boy.
And I went to the river.
Oh, now you tell us. It's like the last thing. Oh, by the way, I did go to the river.
Yeah.
With who? Your fiance?
On the same day we got engaged, yeah. Because we had, I originally was going to have you up where I was going to propose, hiding out with the camera in the early afternoon, like 5:30ish. And then right when we were done, we were going to have to book down the mountain, try to get cleaned up, and then go to dinner at 8. It was like a 30-minute hike up, 30-minute hike back. So it was a good hike where I was going to propose. And so I decided, last minute kind of changed my plans. And I was like, I'm just going to do it in the morning. I'm not going to have Nate up there. But morning for my fiance is not morning.
No.
Talk about someone who does not get up early. It's her. 100%. So I was like, if we could be out of the house by 10, that'd be great.
So she actually rises out of the bed by the time you're taking a shit.
Oh, probably a little bit after.
Because it's like if you're up at like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then you have a shit at like 10:30.
Yeah.
And then Alex rises at like 10:31.
Yeah.
They're babies.
Babies
Time
here.
to get up.
Time to get up. I smell his poo-poos.
So you're both like, you're an early riser, late goer getter. She's like a late riser, late goer getter.
She can actually wake up
and go
splash some water and get out of the house.
So she's a early go and getter. She's like, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I can get out of the house when I wake up.
You're like, where's my tea?
I'm like, if I do that, my day is ruined. I'm going to tell everybody.
Warm the toilet seat.
Yes.
I'll be there in 2 hours.
Yes, Precisely. I actually wake up and I put a little heat pack on the toilet that by the time I get there, it's not so hot.
You poor thing.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, you were joking.
No, I'm choking.
Oh, you're choking. Gotcha.
Oh, man. I'm already getting sweaty.
That's fine out here.
Yeah, it looks good.
But you're officially engaged. Yeah. I think we could just drop... Our main topic for today, we're talking about this idea of acceptance in all of its forms. And I think that this is a great segue talking about... I'm just going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Like, what did you have to accept in your life? Because you've been with Alex, your girl, for a long time. Kind of when you were a lot younger, then you all split, then you all got back together. And so here you are engaged. What was it? Did you have to like accept anything to be like, I shouldn't be engaged? Or like what changed? Like what got you to that point?
Well, I mean, I really don't know. I was trying to think about that the other day. Like what really made me take this seriously and be like, I should probably propose to this woman. And it wasn't anything like, oh, I realized how in love I was with her. It's like, I've really realized that 1,000 times. Like, it wasn't just like a moment I realized I was in love with her and I should probably get engaged. It was a lot more of like, well, the logistics of getting the ring and the money going through with that is like the big, like making that choice. And I think it's more of turning 30, getting older, wanting to be married before I start a family. If I ever do have kids or whatever the future holds for me, I really just started to think that like, I obviously never want to lose this woman who identifies as a woman ever. And so I should probably start that process. And I started that process about 3 months ago or so of getting the ring and doing all that, the money issue and all that stuff. And boy, I can tell you it's not cheap. It took a lot of motivation and energy, but yeah, I don't think it was just like a moment, but I knew I went on this hike with my dog and took like a gram of psilocybin and then went to the hiking spot. That's our spot, mine and Alex's spot. And when I got there with my dog, I had this huge, huge moment of realization where I was like, well, I'm going to propose here for sure, because this is our spot and we have so many memories here. But then that kind of started like this. I think I'm going to go to my parents' house and see if they have any like rings from grandma. And then I'm going to ask her parents for permission. I'm just going to start that like process. And then that just kind of did it. So maybe it was that moment of like finding the place I wanted to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But had you already, would you say that you already accepted years ago that this was the person you wanted to marry?
Yeah. 100%.
Did you know that before she did? Like, was she always on the same page?
So we've dated twice. So we dated right out of high school. We were much younger. And coming from our background, the religious background we come from, I was ready to marry anyone that would love me. And so I was ready to marry her the second we started dating. And same with my first girlfriend before her. And she just doesn't come from that same background. And so she was never really that into, not necessarily the relationship, but into the idea of, I just met my forever partner at 18.
Right.
And it didn't. We broke up. It didn't work out for that time being. But then when we got back together like 5 years later, dated for a handful of more years, I was more pulled away on like, I don't know if I'm ever getting married at this point. And I was like 26 at the time. And she was a lot more devoted by that time. And so I think now being back together in our later lives or the later periods of our lives, we've both been a lot more committed and a lot more like from the get-go, like I've been in love with you since I can remember what love was. And so I think I'm going to marry you. Seriously though.
What the baby so cute. Yeah, that's adorable. Because I feel like and everyone's relationships are different and they can classify them however they want. It's their prerogative. But like to fully commit, right? Like I feel like marriage and being engaged and taking these leaps, right? Like it's pretty wild how the moment you do it, just the title of being engaged and being like, I'm a fiance. And the next morning you wake up and it's just like, I'm a fiance.
Yeah.
It's like something happens just by that, like And I feel like this idea of accepting commitment, like the acceptance of just true commitment. And like I said, everyone can define this differently, but like commitment to me was a really hard thing for me to accept, like to myself. And it was like, you know, being with my fiance, you know, like now, like when we were just dating, like that first year, I was like a lot with my therapist was talking about like my fear of commitment. And I feel like acceptance played a huge role. Like once I had overcome certain fears by just being able to define them and like understand them better, like there was this idea of like, you know, I'd never been in a serious relationship longer than like 2 years or something before. And so this idea of marriage for the rest of your life, like even though we were born in that, and that was the rules, I didn't think I was going to get married after a certain point. And then when it was like, oh, that's right. No, I want to be married. I want to be committed to this one person. Like that's what I live for. Like there's something so beautiful in my eyes and real about the choice of, and like acceptance of like one-on-one, like monogamy and all of that. And who knows if that'll evolve over time, but I feel like there has been so much acceptance in my life when it comes to the love for my partner and for like me and accepting me and my role and like in life of being a committed, loving fiance and soon to be husband. And like, it's just not all, you know, like relationships and long-term and commitment is not easy. But it is beautiful. And I feel like that trust just grows over time. And so I feel like accepting yourself and then accepting your partner as being like, this is the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. It's a lot of acceptance there. A lot of acceptance. But I don't know if that was the greatest segue, but here we are. I can say right now that there are things in my personal life that are so fucking hard for me to accept. Every day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. And I think what's so interesting about this podcast, man, is I'm not watching it. Like I edit it. So I watch all of it to the T and then it gets posted and it's
watching while you're editing is a totally different way of watching. Because I do the same thing for the shorts. And a lot of the times I'm trying to dig for the content. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, this piece was amazing. And there's certain things, especially when it's like on episode like 43, I think, or 42 when we did the Reddit and you got super vulnerable. It's like those moments. It's like, oh, I'm watching those moments for sure. But it's just different than the few times that I've actually gone down and put our podcast on and sat and watched the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. And I just feel like it's not common for people that are the creators to have the time or the energy to watch it like a fan would or something. And I just don't. I don't have the time or energy. I mean, I catch a lot of the shorts that you do. But my point being that like we're constantly changing and evolving and like we're just never the same. And I feel like this podcast is a perfect example of that. Because there's so many podcasts of just growth, and then what feels like maybe backtracking isn't. It's just like a new season. And so like the last podcast or the 2 podcasts ago, right, we talked about, you know, drug abuse or alcohol abuse and all of this. And we talked a lot about weed and like, there's this like, it's funny to me how if you wanted to, you could go back and watch the last 20 episodes and you would just see such a evolution of change for like you and me and how we like skate through life and what we talk about, like what we're grounded in, what we're letting go, what we're bringing back. And I think like every day for like the last few weeks, no matter what I've said on this podcast, there's been this part of my personal life that's just been tough and like feels like trials of this idea of feeling like I have very little control. And it's just about like I've been saying this thing like accepting the process. And it's been really hard for me most days to accept the process that I'm in with certain things in my life. And so for sleep, because I feel like I've lost control and I'm not accepting my sleep problems well at all. Like for many months there, I was accepting my issues with sleep very well. It was just like, hey man, you're not the greatest sleeper. And when you're stressed out, you might lose some hours. And like, I just haven't been accepting that. So I have brought cannabis back into my life for sleep. And it, you know, works just beautifully because I am having a harder time accepting certain things. And they're just like ruminating and sitting on my
cerebellum,
my psyche. And so I feel like it's like the never ending quest of how to accept life.
Well, I do think we go through periods of life that are tougher to accept. If I just like think back, like 6 months ago, there was less things happening in my life that I needed to accept, and life felt a little more. Actually, maybe not even 6 months ago. It's been a minute. But yeah, I just feel like we go through periods of life being heavier, life being a lot more work. Feels like, and whether that mean you're actually doing things or that those things that you're doing just take more effort. And I feel like it's just been like that for a minute. And there's a lot of things I can think of in my life, like my back pain, that I've had. They're going on week 13. Holy mother of Jeebus. But it has been a storm of acceptance every single Monday when I wake up with still chronic lower back pain. That is a huge part of my acceptance. And there's a handful of other things I can think of that I don't necessarily want to mention openly on this podcast that are going on as well, that are all about just acceptance and getting through the day, getting through the week, getting to the next podcast. We're here. We're at episode 45. It's like last week was a tough one. Also was a beautiful week, but it was a lot of acceptance. And some days were miserable, filled with anxiety and chronic panic. A lot of work, but then got to a place of acceptance. That's why I texted you, like, maybe we should do it on acceptance, because I know there's things going on in your life too that we talk about on a daily basis, if not a little bit less, but on just really hard things going on in the background that we can't control by any means. And the only thing we can control is that we accept that that's just what life is. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think, like, how do you, with the stuff you're going through, like, what do you do to accept it? How do you accept the shit?
It's a lot easier with a partner. Yeah, I think it's really nice having a companion that you can fight through this life with, and that wants to fight through it with you.
So you mean like you go to her?
I mean, when you live with someone and you know this and you love them, they see every part of you and they know everything that's going on more than anyone else. And so she sees all the nasty shit that I'm dealing with and unhealthily dealing with too in the house. And she's just an amazing supporter. And so I think having that love and support that you know isn't going to dip when you're not doing well helps me accept that I'm not doing well, or helps me accept the things going on in the background that I can't control, that I want to control so bad, like back pain and like other things that make it difficult to continue the same routine every single week, and having to accept that, like you said, this is the process. It's not going to be like this forever, but this is definitely the process. And accepting it makes the process a hell of a lot easier. I think fighting against the process is what really makes these portions of life straining and exhausting and reactive. But when you accept it, it's easier to think clearly, to get through the tough days, because you've accepted it already.
And you're saying that, like, with your partner, there's the companionship in your life, or the camaraderie between you. Like, you're not the only one struggling with acceptance, and this person that's the closest to you ever, that lives with you, that knows if you're potentially could pick up if you're having a good day or a bad day, is right there to, like, support you through it, mainly.
Yeah.
That helps you accept your own life just by, like, not being alone.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking about specifics, and you asked, like, what helps you, like, how do you come to that conclusion? I don't, honestly. This whole past week, I wasn't accepting anything, and I was angry. And same with the beginning of the last week before that. Like, I feel like I go through days of not accepting my process and my reality. Whereas getting to the end of this week, there's like 3 things I'm just focusing on, back pain being one of them, where I'm just like, yeah, my feelings about it doesn't change anything. So you have to accept it and just try to keep moving forward. So I don't really know if there's like, how do you do it? It's like, You just have to.
How do you do it? How do you accept the parts of life? I think I think like a huge part of it is realizing that we hyperfixate, or I can hyperfixate on the things that I can't literally control. It seems like a lot of the things I have a hard time accepting are things that aren't of me. And that's where it's like I don't have to accept anybody else's ways of living life. I just have to accept the fact that they're not me, right? It's like, which I have no control over. And nor do I want control over like these individuals or other people, but it's more of like when I get caught up in everyone else's life that's living around me, or all the things that can go wrong or potentially go wrong. When I'm having a hard time, like when these are the things that are like forcing me to, or like just kind of weighing on my psyche, that's what I ruminate on, and that's what I can't accept. It's like, I can't believe this person would do that, or can't believe this is happening again in my life. And a lot of those things I can't accept, I have no control over. We'll never have any control over. And that seems like almost everything is like this lack of control. And so because of that, it's like impossible to accept the things I can't control. And I forget that saying. Maybe it's like in AA, where it's something like, God, right? It's always speaking to God. It's like, God, give me the strength to accept the things I can't change, and to change the things I can, or accept
like
the
that.
things I can't change. Totally butchered that.
Yeah.
But that is really a beautiful quote. I think but what it is like, accept what you can't change, which is probably 99.99% of the things that cause me anxiety.
Yeah. That's probably why they're causing you anxiety.
Right. And those are the things that I end up hyperfixating on and ruminating on, or like trauma from my past. If something's going on in life where it brings up fear of my past, and it's really hard to accept the things of my past, but there's no changing the things of my past.
Yeah.
So I think there's got to be some sort of connection to like acceptance and lack of control.
Yeah.
Or the difficulty of acceptance with lack of control. And so I guess like one of the things I've been working on a lot, and this really does help me, is like, I can't accept this life. And I wake up and it's just something's going on in my situation. It's like, I'm having a really hard time accepting that this is what I'm dealing with. Like, how am I in this situation, right? There's always like, why me?
Yeah.
How is this happening? And it's like, I can't accept it. I'm not accepting the current moment. And that's like all of these things that don't have any control of me. When I normally just go like, Nathan, you're feeling fear and you're really scared because you have no control over all these other people. That's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you just accept the fear? It's like, oh, so like if I start to really like try to understand the rumination and anxiety, normally what happens is the gentleness of me, or like me being gentle with myself, is being like, why don't you just accept your own feelings? What are your feelings? Like, what are you actually going through right now? Oh, I'm having a lot of fear about what this person did or could do. And it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't you just accept that emotion?
Yeah.
The moment that I like play that out in my head, and I like what you said, like having a partner, like me being able to go to my partner and be like, I'm having all this, and this. I can't seem to get my thoughts right. And she's normally like, makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like that same.
Just that validation can be very helpful.
Yeah. And it's like, that's like that lesson I learned at my retreat, which is like, there's sense in the senseless. Sometimes it feels like what's hard for me to accept is the senselessness of life. Like it's just chaos. I have no control. There's all this shit happening. I mean, like none of it's my fault, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so what are you feeling? I'm scared, feel lonely. It's like nothing makes sense. And it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Your feelings make sense because that's what.
But it only doesn't make sense because you can't control it. So to you, it doesn't make sense. It's why to have someone else be an outer perspective that says that makes sense. You feel that way. Feels good because it feels like it doesn't make sense to you.
It literally, for me to accept the moment of like whatever it is that I'm not accepting that's causing all of that pain or anxiety, is right now I'm learning how to just talk to go to myself in the same way that I have started to learn like how to go to my partner. Like I wasn't always that good at like proactively and specifically going to my partner and being like, yo, I'm really scared right now, because it was always like a rage fit, right? Or some sort of outburst and a projection of whatever that fear is in a different form of anger.
Mm.
And it's like I've gotten a lot better at just being really vulnerable and recognizing like, yo, you've been dealing with anxiety now and you're ruminating on this same thing for like an hour. You should probably call Megan.
Yeah.
Like hit up and like, or I've called you.
Yeah.
Right. We've had like big talks, and it's like such a huge believer that we're not supposed to be alone.
Yeah.
Because my own perspective and my own issues with acceptance can be so detrimental to my mental health.
Totally.
And the moment that I do have an outsider perspective that I trust.
Yeah.
Right. And that's interesting too, is it's like, it's a person that loves me that I trust. I'm now going to tell them the truth of my feelings. And normally the only thing that Megan will ever say back is kind of like, yeah, that's okay. Like it makes sense why you're feeling that way.
Yeah, like an understanding.
And it's the same exact advice I give her.
Yeah.
Just like let it all come out. Then it's just like, yeah, everything that you just said makes so much sense.
Totally.
And then you can start like breaking up like the things that are just like crazy that you could never deal with. And like you can start to accept the things that you can't change, and take more control over like the choices you can make for yourself to be better. But goddamn, it's hard, man.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And I really want there to be like a secret recipe.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that. Everyone would love a recipe to handling the painful times in life.
It just seems like it changes. Like the moment I was strong in certain ways and accepting certain parts of life, like it's not easy anymore.
Well, you're not overcoming that part of you anymore. You're overcoming a different part now. I feel like that's part of growing, is once you conquer a demon or something that you grow out of, some behavior that you've been having for a long time, that's just going to show you another behavior that you've also had, and another thing, and another aspect of your life that changes real quick. And it's like, well, you thought you were going to have this whole world solved. I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah. No, nor do I want to like solve the whole world. It's just this tiny little piece of it. You know, so one of the hardest parts of accepting is the temporary. It's like that. I hear, you hear that saying all the time, like like it's just temporary. Whatever you're going through, it's just, it's not going to last forever. But when you're in the moment of being like, whenever you're in that temporary moment, and I've said it on this cast before, it's forever.
It feels forever. Yeah.
It feels forever. And accepting that, normally being able to accept that like, yeah, I guess I know this is temporary, but right now I'm accepting the fact that this is going to be forever.
Mm.
Normally gives me the perspective that it is temporary. Because like once I accept that, like, this is just sucks right now so bad, I'm just going to accept it. And that's like accepting the foreverness of how that feels is normally where it's like immediately like, oh, actually, this isn't going to be forever, but I'm accepting this moment. Yeah, but I don't know. It's an interesting topic for us because I know that we're both dealing with accepting things in our life that we're not really wanting to.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the ways that I've learned to how to accept certain things too in my life is by being a support to my partner, being a support to you, right? Like, and some of my close friends that I talk to as well. Like when someone comes to me, or if I sense somebody that I love is struggling, and being able to be like on the other side, it's so much easier to be like, oh, I'm going to accept the fact that you're suffering. That's easy. I'm not the one suffering in this exact moment, so I can be the strong one who's going to say all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in those moments, I've actually learned a lot. Like whatever I say to Megan in certain tough times, I'm like, can hear myself as I'm saying it out loud. Like, you need to be saying this to yourself when you're the one really having a hard time like accepting the situation you're in.
And I bet you do. I bet you unconsciously do. It's just hard to accept yourself. It's hard to accept advice from yourself. You talk to yourself every day, every second. You're always thinking, reminiscing. So to have yourself tell you the same things, it just doesn't feel the same, doesn't sound the same. It's really hard to get to a place of being able to have that kind of self-talk and have it be powerful enough to make change. And I think that's like where the true work comes in, is when you can start having the self-talk that motivates you to get sober, motivates you to do these things, to show you the self-love you're not giving yourself. It's from that self-talk and trusting it. And it's easy to fall back into this mindset of like, as the Bible would put it, eternal damnation is kind of what it feels like sometimes, of cursed. You always say, like sometimes you'll reminisce on how you've always felt cursed. Maybe not recently, but that idea is
plenty.
Yeah. And it's easy to need, what you need to hear, but it just helps to hear it from someone else.
I think this idea of being cursed is like an easy cop out.
Yeah.
Because if you're cursed, then there's a reason
there's
why
nothing you can do.
There's a reason why this shit keeps hitting the fan, because you're just cursed. I had for many years accepted that reality. I was like, no, I'm just cursed, and accepting that was kind of like, see, everything was like a blame because I'm cursed, because there's some sort of weird voodoo magic that's been this is how I used to always like subconsciously think about it. Whereas now I say I'm chosen for certain situations. And even when I don't believe that or feel that, being able to like stay true by that, take control and be like, no, this is the moment that like life is exuding from you. So accept the suffering and the joy. And so you're chosen for this moment. You're chosen for this fatherhood. You're chosen for this relationship. You're like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's a huge part of me accepting certain things is by taking control and accepting my life for what it is. Like, this is my life. This is the life I'm experiencing. And like, so I should kill it. I should like, just like top notch. Yeah. Like going into a playoff game, I'm going to win. And I think that mentality is a part of accepting it. Like by accepting what you're in, then you can really like work hard at it and not cower away or allow that fear to consume you. I think like one of the hardest things for me is recognizing like, damn, I'm scared. And in the past, literally all my fears would turn into anger. It's just how it would go. And now they're not turning into anger at all. They're just staying fears, which is really interesting because I've always considered myself to be a very like, I can handle anything type of person, when really it was like, I can be angry at a lot of things. Because it was like, I'm scared to do this shit, but I'll do it. But I'm going to be like frustrated if things don't go my way. And that sort of reactiveness, that anger was because I wasn't accepting the scary parts of it. Yeah. It's like denying that acceptance is what led to like frustration and being pissed and more victimization. And
it's that control. It's trying to control it. Pisses you off when you really find something you can't control and all you want to do is control it. And that's the only headspace you stay in is I can't control this. Yeah. It's going to make you pretty angry.
It's kind of unintelligent. Yeah. To think about like how
it's not adapting at all.
Well, it's just like forgetting that we have such little control. It's like you think you have any control here. It's like, well, that'll piss you off. Yeah. But accepting that you have very little control in every situation ever. Yeah.
It's daunting, even just that alone. How much little control we really do have over everything.
Yep.
It's very daunting to even just accept that. Yeah. It's kind of tough podcasting in the heat. I start to feel like I'm in like a warm blanket.
No, it's not too bad. I'm accepting it.
I'm not.
It's not too hot out here. I'm accepting the heat. I am getting those sort of like nappy feelings.
That's what I was getting at. Not necessarily the heat that's throwing me off. It's that it's making me kind of like I'm falling asleep.
Well, give me something else. We can cut it short today.
It is a big day. We already podcast for like 2 hours straight.
You know me, I'm always down to do a shorter cast. But off the top of your head, is there anything else specifically when you think of?
I think we touched on something back on. I think it was 44. Talking about your birthday.
You mean the last episode?
Was it last episode?
You forget so soon.
We were talking about expectations and how expectations kind of are just a recipe for, I wouldn't say disaster, but at least disappointment. And I feel like I had that present to me this week, like real hard. where it's like you have expectations for something and then you get presented with something completely opposite. And it's like, you have to accept this now, that your expectations are shattered. And it was a huge part of acceptance. But I think I think expectations are trying to plan the future and trying to control. So if you create an expectation, if this doesn't go this way, then I can't accept it. And that's what an expectation would be. And so it's like, just, I'm trying to do in my life now is just like, yeah, you can plan, you can work to make something happen, but have no expectations, because your expectations are most likely going to get shattered and then you're going to be bummed. So just take the expectations out and just be present and just live in that moment. That's something I'm trying to do.
Interesting. Even if like you set expectations and you get barely below that bar, it still feels like you're failing.
Not barely, no. But that just doesn't seem the way life works. Because barely below the bar would feel like it's barely below the bar. And that would be just like a snobby kid not getting the candy, you know? That's just not how life works. Life is normally like, oh, you wanted this to happen? Well, that happened. It's like, oh, well, I wasn't prepared for that even in the slightest. Didn't even get close to what I wanted to happen. Therefore, I can't accept anything anymore with this situation, and I'm now reactive and emotional. Whereas if I just didn't set this expectation, but I had these plans, but I set no expectation, then you can adapt. I feel like then the adaptation gets easier to do in those moments of struggle, in those moments of, oh, well, this is difficult to handle because I was planning on this, or I was prepared for this to happen and it didn't. Instead, it would be more of like, well, let's just adapt to the situation now. How do we handle this now?
Being aware of every moment.
Yeah, being present.
Being awareness, I think, is like a huge part of acceptance, right? Is just being aware of your situation to take responsibility. Is like you're accepting the present moment by being aware of it fully so that you can take responsibility, which is your ability to respond at all. It's really hard not to set expectations, though.
Yeah.
We all have expectations.
Yeah.
For all of life.
Yeah. Especially for things like birthdays and engagements and stuff where it's like, oh, well, you don't get many of these. And so it's really hard not to have expectations. And I feel like it's really hard to have those expectations kind of shat on or manipulated, and to feel like that one time or that birthday was taken away. And in reality, it's like, well, no, that actually was the perfect way for it to happen because that's the way it happened. And it's like just accepting that, like, I'm perfect in every single way. And because I'm existing in this universe as me, and it wouldn't have happened any different way. The universe has it that way. It's accepting it. And as humans, as our, like, I feel like our innate first reaction is to try to control everything because we just want to be in control. I wonder where that comes from. I think it probably stems from the amount of times in our life we are presented with change and presented with the uncontrollable that probably sets in this like innate need and desire to consistently try to control everything.
Yeah, I think race and culture has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's like parenting too. It's like who you're raised by. If you have parents where everything, you know, and this is not blaming, but it's more of like just being aware of like you learned behavior. It's like if you want to be in control of everything, you might have had parents that have really hard time not being in control of everything. And so as they lose control over your life as you get older and you start to see the way they treat you, it's like, oh, this is how my parents are when they have no control.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, it's like a blame game, victimization, like, so the need to control. And I think like, you know, it's pretty common that like the white folk like to control everything. When they're not in control, it's a big, big problem.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like it's that way with every race and culture.
No.
At least in my experience, this country, you know. Yeah. So I think that like, it's not just necessarily a human thing. I think it's like can be a race thing too.
Totally.
And the fact, you know, like there's parts of me with acceptance is recognizing the privilege, you know, like, I felt like things have been hard at times in my life, but really looking at the bigger perspective of the world, I've been so fucking privileged, man.
Mm.
And having that awareness is kind of like, it's really hard for me to accept certain things because I expect, there you go, yeah, expectations. I expect things to be a certain way. And those expectations are probably deep seated from the way I've been grown up in life, being white, male, so when things are like out of that bubble, this idea of like, this is the way things should be for me. It makes me feel like I can't accept it.
Mm.
And recognizing like, I've had it so easy. I've had it so easy compared to so many. And that makes it harder for me to accept harder things, especially when other people are what feel to be like controlling them, which have a huge effect on my life.
Mm.
But that's been the case for so many. And having that perspective that I'm not alone, that there's so many people on this planet that are suffering, that have no control. And you can like meeting so many different types of people, right? You can kind of see how people are like, the Lyft driver who drives like 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for his family. It's like, how are you accepting your life?
While also working a second job at the gas
station. How are
station.
you accepting your 3 jobs?
Yeah.
I can barely accept my one. It's like...
That's a big one for me is when I run into people that legit work every single day of their life, where they work a job with me. They have another job they do 3 days a week. And then they also have this other job that takes 2 days out of the week. So for 2 of those days, they're working a job in the morning, a job at night, job in the morning, a job at night. And then every day of the week, they're working somewhere for 8 hours. Just that work mentality stresses me out because I can't do it. I mentally would collapse into myself. And so when I hear people doing that, I'm like, and I complain about my shifts. It's like, it's a huge like perspective change too.
Right. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But acceptance is hard. And all the things in life that are good seem to be difficult.
I'm accepting this being the end of our conversation.
Me too.
Maybe the reason why this cast always feels different for us than I think especially when I'm editing it, it feels a lot different, but I can definitely feel the sluggishness of today's episode. It's very possible that you're onto something that when it's hotter in here, it might be difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel really tired today.
I'm really exhausted, and I did put a lot of energy into the podcast that we were doing for 2.5 hours prior. And to come and do this one,
3 hours. We were there for 3 hours.
Yeah, 3
almost.
hours. To come and do this one right after one, that's just a lot. It's just a lot to do for one, and to come into I don't even want to use the word hot, but like warm. Air is not moving garage. It's almost like being tucked into a sleeping bag and just zipping it up and be like, I'm just going to hang out in here for a little bit. It's like at some point you're like, I'm falling asleep.
You're done. You get lack of oxygen.
Yeah. It feels like I'm slowly losing a little bit of oxygen. It's so hot that I'm just tired.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think the heat has a little bit of the sluggishness because like as we're doing this, I'm like, I can't wait to go home and take a nap. That was my first thought.
Also, like after doing a podcast that's just about like really just like talking about a movie.
Yeah.
And all that. Of course, Zach and I chose to do a podcast that's just like down to earth, coming out of the loins of your emotions every single time. And it's not easy.
No.
It's just not easy getting the energy sometimes to be like, today we're talking about depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we ain't stopping.
We ain't stopping, baby.
That's why we add in a little bit of the...
Game Cam.
Welcome to the Game Cam.
Yeah. Everyone's here.
What? Switchfoot?
Dude, welcome to the Game Cam. You're doing like welcome to the planet.
I wasn't trying to do that.
Well, you did it.
You just ruined my moment.
Well, you just ruined my moment.
Trauma. Anyways, we are doing Mario Kart Deluxe today.
Yeah, we're going to try it. They might have more
The
battles.
new Mario Kart. Because the last time we did Super Smash Bros. And Zach just kicked my ass. It's like, that wasn't very fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, they give you different colors. Of the
damn right, we're going to be DK, though. Like, come on.
Jeez.
Zach doesn't change anything. He's the same character every time. Wow.
How is Toad?
Look at all of these different mobiles. Definitely going to do the DK mobile. Oh, yeah. Let me get some Oh, I need some whoa, look at those little tiny tires. I think these are the best
It's
ones.
just for looks, right? It doesn't give me any better ability.
I don't know. We're playing this for the first time. I know we've played before, but oh yeah, there's that DK. We're doing all DK, baby. Ready. I'm pretty sure with the Deluxe you can turn the controller, then it actually turns on the screen.
You can, yeah.
Balloon battle, no teams. Normal items, round time 3 minutes. Normal comm. We don't want computers. No comm. Comm vehicles. All vehicles. Courses. Choose. Random. 4 rounds? That was just balloons. We'll do 3 rounds, right?
24 rounds. I guess we have to do 4 rounds.
4 rounds. Okay. Renegade Roundup. That looks fun. All right. Balloon battle it is.
Balloon battle.
All right. Here we go.
Go for it. We have no idea what we're getting into, folks. We've never played the new Mario Kart battle. We are only used to the old school battle, and so this is going to be a learning curve for everybody.
Oh,
and
it
this
is.
Looks like a race course.
Battle Stadium, Balloon Battle, Battle Stadium, Bowser's
Interesting.
Kart, Mario Kart. Wow, this is already way more intense.
Oh, so intense. I'm kind of...
Okay, good luck. We have 5 balloons. What is going on? This really... Okay, I went on red. This really kind of shows... Oh, wow, and it's not split screen like how we did in the past.
It's like side screen?
Side screen. This is interesting.
Where are you? Oh, goodness.
Okay, I'm dropping bananas. Where are you? I wonder if there's a way to switch to side screens, because this is crazy.
This is weird. The
Where are you?
graphics are so much better.
Dude, you're are you above me?
I don't know. It's really, there's no... Oh, wait, now I see. I can kind of Here we go.
Yes, you are above me. Okay, I'm coming. Oh!
Gotcha.
Oh, you already got me! Come here, baby. I had feathers and they didn't do anything. Eat my bananas. Oh, whoops, I already shot a shell in accident. Oh,
got you too, baby. Nate's down to 3.
You're down to 4. We're almost out of time for this round.
Which is kind of good. It keeps them going. Especially when you have
Bam.
5 balloons. I wish we could have
I love
changed
the
that.
moves they make when they jump. They're like, da-da-da. Wow, this is way different. It's harder to control. Ugh!
Oh, man. You just dodged a lot of green shells.
Come on, why did that boomerang not work? Ah! I have no idea what that feather does. Oh, dang it.
So slidey.
I don't know about these controllers, man.
I don't know about 4
Ooh, I love the
rounds.
boomerang, though. That's sick.
What does it do?
It comes right back at you.
Cool.
That's what boomerangs are supposed to do, Zach. Come back up the ramp. Come get me. We got 38 seconds. Let's go.
Are you below me?
Da, 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 da. Where are you?
Oh, you did get me.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
This is my round. This is my round, baby.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh! Oh!
Wait, I got 3.
How did you get 3? How did you win that round? We have the same amount of balloons.
That's this round. These rounds are longer. Hopefully the level is different. That level was hard to find you.
It's gonna be the same level, I bet you. Different level, sweet kingdom.
Cool. I don't like how they make them like race maps. I feel like it's like a racetrack turned into a battle track where it's like it should just be like a square that we drive through and fight each other.
I think we're also just very new to the new game.
New. 5 balloons.
They said don't go on red. Wait for it. Red, green.
Didn't get it.
Dang it. Oh, hey, you're right there.
Whoa, what was that nonsense I just got?
Oh, baby. Okay, we're gonna go travel around the world a little bit here. Really, green shells and bananas. Missed you like crazy.
Wait, did you even pass me? I didn't even see
terrible miss. Oh, I like to go into that pole. Oh! Wow, that hurt. Oh, why? Why are all the bananas? Why? Because I'm DK? Straight up terrible.
Yeah, it's just straight racism. Okay.
Is it racism if it's about an animal?
What'd you call it?
Prejudice.
Dude, you're crazy. You're being crazy. Come to me.
Why is this game so much harder? Why is everything harder than the original? Lame, dude. I am pissed off.
Ooh, nice shot. I saw those bullets coming right at me.
Oh, blew it myself? Are you kidding me? Oh, what the
front door, dude.
No! No!
Oh, dude, look at that bullet shot. That's what I'm talking about. Wait, you're back?
Yeah, because it's a point system, man.
Oh, and I'm smashing at this point.
Ah! I'm terrible.
Ooh, I got fire breathers.
Oh my god. How did you get me again?
Look at my crown they gave me. It's crazy.
They already know you're just kicking my butt.
They're just like, you're slaying, dude.
Oh,
dude.
My god. They're going to give me more balloons. This
is sad for you.
This is very sad. Wow. It's the fucking point.
Brutal, dude.
That's the point anymore, man. You're really kicking my butt.
Man, I'm in hot, too. Oh, gosh.
Oh, God.
Dude. This is a tough one for you, man.
Wow.
Well, you got 2 more rounds to come back. You sweating
It's
yet?
best out of 3.
No, I know, but it's 4 rounds, is it not?
You want to do this whole game? All 4 rounds?
Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
It's already, we already been playing for long enough. You already kicked my butt.
I mean, if you feel like the need to cut it here and just be like, I'm better, then you can go for it, man. You got 2 points on me.
I mean, I guess if you want to switch up our rules, it was always best out of 3.
Oh, I guess that would make sense, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's best out of 3. Even if they do 4.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you're just hot. You're just hot and letting you're like winning and you're like, I want to keep winning.
No, I was just going with the game. This one's different because it's like a whole like series they put you through.
We'll just pause this third. We saw that Zach kicked my butt.
Yeah, I won like crazy. There's probably a way to change some of the game settings too, where we can kind of have it old school.
Oh, wow.
So, dude, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
Have you not played have you played this one before?
The new one? I played the race. I haven't played the battle, no.
You've done the racing.
No, it was just really easy to hop into your head and be like, oh, you're right behind me. You're going to pass me. It's like, oh, Nate, what are you doing?
You did get the hang of it the last little bit there.
I definitely feel like this new one is a lot more slippery. I'm like,
Yeah, well, it's just slower movement. Turn left. It's like, come on, left, left. Right. It's like you're feeling like a boat.
I still think there's nothing like the old version.
No, there's nothing like the old version.
Yeah, I could play the old version 14 rounds back to back.
Yeah, this is brutal. I feel like we might just end up going back to the old version.
It is kind of fun having something new. I think we should try to figure out how to change the settings so that it could be kind of like the old version where it's just 3 balloons. That's it. Because having the whole 5 balloons, we play for the 3-minute time limit. I can kill you as many times as whatever. It's like, that's just not fun.
Yeah, here's some more balloons to die.
Yeah, here's more balloons. Try to get more points. It's like, no, thank you.
Echo. Garage on.
Oh, it is toasty out here, though.
It is mad toasty. Mad toasty.
Good one, man. Good job.
Yeah, you kicked my butt again. That's two weeks in a row.
It's okay. We went like 4 weeks in a row where you kicking my butt on the old school one. So
I remember.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here.
And we appreciate you sticking around for Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat episode 45.
Until next week, which we were just talking about I'm going to be out of town.
You got a big thing of fuzz on you.
I'm going to be out of town for like a week, doing wedding stuff in New Orleans. And so we'll be filming next week and then missing a week.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a week off. We're trying to be a lot more okay with taking weeks off when we need to.
We have to be.
Because, one, we're the only people that run this shit. And so that's a lot of work, especially with after talking to some of the other podcasters that we just podcast with that don't do video. But still, it's a lot of work. And they related to us a lot on just the weekly amount of work is a lot of work. And if you're going to be traveling and you're going to be planning your wedding, we're taking a week off.
If you do any traveling for a week, it's going to be hard to do it.
Yeah, you're going to want your headspace in other places. And to do 2 podcasts next week just so we don't miss a week is like, yeah, we don't need to be there. We have no one working with us right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's totally okay. We're on episode 45. We're obviously not going to stop. The longevity is kicked in. Taking a week off is not going to kill us.
No.
Yep.
I'm not worried about it.
But love you, man. Good cast. Glad we got through it. Been a busy day of podcasting, and we did it. So
we did it.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.